Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Jenn Hoff, the CEO of Taffy Events. Jenn, how you doing?
I'm doing great today. Thanks.
I wanted to catch up on one of the biggest shows that you guys manage is the Coverings Expo. This year, it's going to be in Las Vegas. It's less than 2 weeks away, April 5th to the 8th. Just wanted to catch up and see what kind of participation you think you're going to have this year.
We've been keeping an eye. A lot of trade shows have staged in the first quarter of this year in related industries, and they've all had phenomenal shows. They have been down a little bit in participation and square footage of exhibit space, but looking beyond the numbers, there's a real excitement and energy, and people are just coming out and coming back and ready to do business. And as we get into these 2 weeks, registration is ticking up, and we're on par from the last time we were in Las Vegas as far as people registering and coming out. The trend also with those other shows has been that the last week and on site, people are waiting to register. We're seeing positive momentum for people to come out, so we're excited. So
basically what you're saying, and I've heard it from several other people, is that these shows, people are excited to be back face-to-face. As COVID becomes less of a threat to attendees' health, you're expecting to have a pretty good turnout.
Correct. It's there. People are getting back. Anybody who's been in an airport recently knows people are coming back out and they're ready to do some business. So we're excited, and Vegas is going to be a great place to host this show.
Let me give some quick background for our listeners' benefit. I mentioned you're with Taffy Events. This show is actually unique in that it's owned by 5 organizations. It's owned by Tile of Spain, Ceramics of Italy, Tile Council of North America, the NTCA, which is the Contractors Association, and the CTDA, which is the Distributors Association. So those are the 5 owners, and they tap you and been involved with the show for a long time. But you've actually been running the show as the CEO of Taffy Events now for how many years?
Since 2017. So we came back on board in 2016 and put the 2017 show together. So it's been a good run, and we're looking forward to this year and going forward.
Yeah, and this show is actually the largest flooring show in the United States from a square footage perspective, right?
Correct. And this year we have 750 exhibitors at the moment, some more still coming in, and representation, which I think is exciting as we come out of COVID. We have representation from 34 countries exhibiting, and it'll be great to get back and showcase them in the U.S. marketplace.
Yeah, one of the reasons, just to remind the listeners, that you have so much international participation. I mean, not only is the show owned by, 2 of the owners are foreign, but much of the tile of what's consumed in the United States is imported. I mean, it's still over half of what's consumed comes from other countries. This is really a big international show, and it's kind of neat if those people haven't been to the show. It's like you set up a small city. All the booths are massive. They give vignettes to show kind of what tile can look like. It's not just a bunch of racks of product. It's a real experience to go to it, right?
Yeah, I'd say the best word is spectacular, and it's actually installed by really qualified artists that know the products, and we're going to be doing some training on the floor. That show, it takes over when you walk in. It's something to see.
What are some of the things that you're doing this year that you want to make sure that people who come to the show don't miss out on?
We are doing a lot of new things and have partnered up with UNLV and their architecture department with a class this semester. The class will be an outdoor living pavilion, and they're going to be featured in our Coverings Lounge. Of course, we're bringing back some old favorites, the CID and Rockstar Awards. We've also put some partner kiosks around a wellness and stability wall, a timeless luxury exhibit, and of course, everybody wants to network. We want to get back to business, but we also want to reconnect. So we are going to have happy hours and giveaways in the afternoons. For business, we have the branding zone, which helps give advice for business owners on branding and digital marketing and initiatives in B2B and communications. CTF and some other groups will be showing some of their testing models on the show floor and training. And another unique and exciting thing that we're looking forward to, as I talked about, a lot of shows are coming back and the market's looking good. We will be sharing the convention center with the National Hardware Show and the International Door Expo. So while Coverings is taking place in the Las Vegas Convention Center, you can also walk over and visit the National Hardware Show and the International Door Expo. And there people can do the same. So we're very excited about that.
Is that all in the same building?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There is a walkway that was built to the new section of they call it the West Building. And so you can just walk over to the hardware show. And then if you go in the other direction to the south side of the building, you can go to the Door Expo.
Let me ask you one other question. We mentioned earlier about all the international participation. And, I know earlier this year when Surfaces was happening, some people just couldn't get to the show because of the restrictions of travel and the difficulty of moving freight from other countries. And you've kind of worked through all that, haven't you?
Yeah, some of it's based on timing. But with the Coverings show, because a lot of the exhibitors are coming from overseas, they ship on the container ships. And anyone who's watching the news knows that a lot of the ports are congested and there's some uncertainty, but we've worked real hard with our freight forwarder and kept in good touch with all the different pavilions and organizers and came up with creative ways to come into other ports and do some trucking and all kinds of things. But we're looking forward to all the products getting there and looking spectacular once we get them installed. That's a challenge, but hopefully we've overcome it.
All right, Jenn. Well, thanks for giving our listeners a preview of what's going to happen in less than 2 weeks in Las Vegas. Again, the Coverings Expo, April 5th to the 8th in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is up on the north end of town. Again, been talking to Jenn Hoff, CEO of Taffy Events, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.